afternoon guys, kia ora, my name's Max, I'm the host of this channel, The Black Jersey, and just like every other intro for my videos, I'm giving a big thank you to my patrons, and a reminder to all the new viewers to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. The premise of today's video came about when I was having a conversation to Rugby Analyst, who's an English rugby YouTuber. I was telling him that a recent video of his was one of his best ever works, and he told me to check out Fanzo, where he has a bit of a tipping league for the end of year internationals. Because I think the British and Irish nations are going to be doing very well, I've got my Lions jersey on for the video, and I'm going to take you guys through all of my picks for who's going to win every single test involving a tier 1 nation during the end of year rugby tests. So yeah, I'm going to run through them all week by week from 1 to 5, and I'm going to give you my picks as to who's going to win. Fanzo's system, if you can get within 10 points of your prediction, you're going to win a free pint of Guinness. If you're watching this video, remember to drink responsibly, and if you're under 18, please don't participate as it's against the law. Anyway, we're going to get right into everything and go through my predictions. So, week 1, we've got Japan versus the All Blacks, and Scotland are hosting Australia. These predictions are probably going to age quite badly as the games are only a few days away at this point, but Japan versus the All Blacks, it's quite safe to say that it is going to be a walkover comparing the two teams. While Jamie Joseph is a very smart coach, we've just got an immense amount of talent that I can't see the result going any other way. But because Japan has improved so much, I'm going to go for the All Blacks to win by 24. Scotland versus Australia. Considering Dave Rennie has the worst percentage of any Wallabies coach in history, I don't think the end of year tests are going to be a pretty one for his team, as they've had a pretty bad year with injuries, whereas Scotland are highly erratic, and when the time is in their favour, they're always going to get the wins at home. I'm going to go for Scotland to win by 11, as they've dropped Finn Russell and they've got a fresh looking team with Jamie Ritchie in as their new captain over Stuart Hogg, whereas Adam Hastings is going to do absolutely brilliant things for the team from 10, whereas Blair Kinghorn's distribution is improving quite a lot as well. I'm now going to head over to week 2. I think Scotland are of course going to get a win over Fiji, and I think it's probably going to be by about 21 points. Fiji's had a bit of an up and down World Cup cycle with the pandemic really affecting their ability to get cohesion going, whereas Scotland have remained about as tight-knit as possible for a team with the amount of controversy that's been experienced. So yes, I'm going to go for Scotland to beat Fiji by 21 points. Italy are then hosting Samoa at home, while Samoa begin their end-of-year tour. Samoa may be classed as a tier 2 nation for some odd reason right now, but considering the form they've in after winning the Pacific Nations Cup, and considering Italy's a bit of a slow-burning improver right now, I'm going to go for Samoa to win by 8 points. Now, Wales versus New Zealand. This one is going to be a clear walkover. I said the British and Irish nations were going to do pretty well, but Wales is indeed an exception to this cause. It's always been a very small country punching above his weight, and with Wayne Pivac in there as a head coach, their lack of depth has shown quite prominently to me. I'm going to go for the All Blacks to win by 26 points. Now, for Ireland versus South Africa. The Irish have had a few injuries, whereas South Africa have started to get into more of a rhythm of the passing and the kicking and actually running the ball. I'm going to go for South Africa to win by 6 points, as this is going to be an incredibly tight, tough, dominant game up front, and when it's a kind of match like that, South Africa are usually going to be the winners. France versus Australia. This is going to be a clear win for France. Australia are ranked 9th in the world, with France at 2nd, and deservingly so. France have got a very good setup right now, and Fabien Galtier has done wonders for them as a head coach, so I'm going to go for France to win by 17 points. And to finish off week 2 of the end of year internationals, we have England playing against Argentina. Considering Argentina beat the All Blacks this year, And also the fact that Michael Cheika has been very good for their rebuilding, if you will. I think England are probably going to be only winning by about 10 points or so. They'll want to bring the likes of the Alex Coles and the new players off the bench to give them a run, prep them in case they need to come off against the All Blacks and play in a big game. It's going to be a good opportunity as well, considering they're in the same pool as Argentina. I'm going to go for England to win by 10. Italy versus Australia. I promised you guys this has got nothing to do with my disappointment over the whole Darcy Swain thing. I'm just not liking the form Australia are in right now. They've dug themselves into a bit of a hole, and I think that Italy, after being a bit upset after the Samoa loss, will want to take out a lot of their repressed rage from that result. So I'm picking for Italy to beat Australia by 5 points. They were able to win a Six Nations game for the first time in 6 or 7 years. I think 2015 was the last time it happened until 2022. And so if they can do that against Wales, why can't they do it against Australia? Week 3 will then feature England against Japan, who's going to be in their pool. England will also look to keep building towards the other games against the New Zealanders and the South Africans. So I think they're going to have a bit of a tight match over here, decided by the second half. After they kind of let Japan test the waters on the first half, I'm going to go for England to win by 13 points. Wales versus Argentina. Argentina, they are one of those teams that can be a bit up and down like Scotland, and after a bit of a loss, they'll also want to take out a bit of the repressed rage there, I can see them winning against the Welsh by as much as 15 points, as they're a little bit more dominant up front than the Welsh right now, who are in a bit of a limbo kind of situation right now, with not 100% of an idea what their long-term future is going to look like, rather. I'm now going to go to France versus South Africa. While Ireland have dealt with those few injuries and things, France have always got a bit of a solid rhythm going right now. I can't see any major injuries that have offset them aside from Veremi Vakatawa's retirements due to a heart condition. I could see France winning this by about 11 points, as they do play a bit of a free-flowing game that can really upset the flow of South Africa. So yes, as I said, France by 11. Now, Scotland versus New Zealand. I've had a bit of an extensive conversation about this prospect by Murray, otherwise known as Blissful Rugby HQ. He's one of the hosts of the Rugby Connection podcasts. I can't help but feel the All Blacks are going to go into this game underestimating Scotland a wee bit. They might use it as an opportunity to give the likes of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Stephen Petafeta, etc., a bit of a chance off the bench. And if that is going to be the case, I'm sorry guys, I can't help but sense the upset on the way. I mean, it's happened against Argentina, it's happened against Ireland in the last 6 to 7 years, and it's only a matter of time before Scotland is going to beat us for the first time. It was wildly close in 2017 with Steve Hansen as coach, so with Fozzie running the ship, Gregor Townsend could well get his Scottish team in a good mood and up for a victory by 1 point. Week 4. Italy versus South Africa. I think we all know this is going to be pretty one-sided. I wouldn't be surprised to see South Africa win by about 19 points. Italy are just lucky that South Africa is not one of the most high-tech running analytical type game plans. They're more of the team who's going to be a king of a counter, as I've analysed in many previous videos. I'd say South Africa would win by about 19 points, but have utter dominance over the stat sheets. Now, Wales versus Georgia, they'll also have a bit of a repressed rage by this point. The Welsh, they're going to get a big win over Georgia by 37 points, I think. This will be a good opportunity for Wales to get some fresh blood into the mix and perhaps finally decide on their long-term future. Now, Scotland versus Argentina. Scotland will need somebody to knock them off their high horse, and there's nobody better to do that than Argentina. They've been developing rather a bit of a reputation for that kind of play as of late. I can see Argentina beating Scotland by 13 points. Now, controversial of me to say, the All Blacks lost the mid-year series to Ireland. They lost at home against Argentina, they lost to South Africa by their worst margin in nearly 100 years, whereas last year they also lost back-to-back tests against the, not the Welsh, we smashed them, the French and the Irish. England are gonna be licking their lips. Eddie Jones is king of building towards something. We all know that by this point. He always plans well in advance for particular events, and considering the role that Ian Foster has been on, I would not be surprised to see England beat the All Blacks by a record margin. The All Blacks' worst ever loss is actually only a margin of 21 points. It's been an event that's happened on 2 occasions, but on this occasion, I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to back my nation of ancestry. I'm going to say England's to win by 34 points. As controversial as most of my viewers are going to find that. Now, Ireland versus Australia, that's also going to be quite a clear walkover. The Irish will have gelled back together again. They'll have got themselves back into a rhythm. I can see them winning against the Aussies by 20 points. Then to round things out, it's going to be France versus Japan. France also play a very free-flowing game, just like the Irish. They'll want to have a good hit-out, get some experience for their youthful players, and the French flair is just going to go for it. I can see them winning against Japan by 41 points. Sorry to Tony Brown there. Week 5. To round things out, week 5 has just 2 fixtures lined up. The first one is going to be Wales versus Australia. It's typically a fixture where the Welsh go home feeling pretty upset. Though the tides have turned a little bit across history, Dave Rennie will be pretty upset with the 2022 season, and his boys are going to look to finish things off on a high. I can see Australia clutching this victory, by 7 points. And to finish off, England versus South Africa. This will be very clutch indeed. South Africa are probably going to stop England from running the ball too rampantly, and so Eddie Jones in the second half will have to get his boys to revert to bullying them up front, with the likes of Ellis, Genge, Courtney Laws, Maro Itoje, and even perhaps a recall for Billy Vunipola. This could indeed happen. Manu Tuolangi, even though I think the era of the crash ball runner is dying, is going to be able to outmuscle Damien Dialendi in the midfield. I would not be surprised to see Marcus Smith and Owen Farrell's combination finally pay off with a last-minute drop goal for England to win by 2 points. I hope you guys enjoyed this video very much, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you for the next one. I hope you all enjoy the end of year tests. Thank you very much from Max, and I'll see you.